Facebook, what's up? It's Anthony Ramos, and I am here with the amazing cast and director of Love, Simon. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hi.
Okay, the movie comes out Friday. I've already seen it twice. It is such an amazing film, and I just want to congratulate you and thank you on behalf of everyone at GLAAD because we really need this kind of film. Greg, I want to start with you. When did this story finally, when did it come into your hands?
I read it as a script in 2016. And it was a Saturday afternoon, and I had all the emotions that I hope people have this Friday when they see it. I laughed, and then I found myself crying, sobbing, really, at the end of the thing. And I thought to myself, how is that possible if it's a teenage romantic comedy? Like, why am I having that kind of visceral response to it? And it just made me want to be a part of it.
I know you didn't write the book, but did you find it to be a little bit like autobiographical in relation to your own story?
I think that it was very much, and obviously as we all worked and tinkered on the script and brought it to life, I would share more and more of my story. But I've been surprised as we've sort of shown the movie to people just how universal the themes are for people who even aren't LGBT, but also just how specific some of the specifics we are. I'll get so many people that say, I came out in a car, or or that happened to me with my dad.
Like me,
exactly. That there are just so many moments that I think people feel represented.
Now I want to talk to the five of you. What was your reaction when you first read this story? Because it really is such a special one. Catherine, I'll start with you.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I had a few reactions because the script came to me at sort of almost a bizarre time. I hadn't stopped or wrapped filming season one of my first job, which was 13 Reasons Why, which for anyone who's watched it is quite an intense role. And it was about that time that the script came through and I read it. And I just remember when I read it feeling such a sense of joy and for whatever reason just feeling like so related to not only Simon but the other characters. And it was really one of those scripts where I read it and I felt like this, essentially, it's a love story. And I think for me, when I read it, after I read it, I went, okay, I really like the script, but if we tell it, we have to do it right. Like, I was adamant, like, if we tell the story, it has to be done right. And I think that's about the time that I had the opportunity to meet with Greg. And after talking to Greg and the other producers on it, I felt really comfortable and really confident and just wanted to be a part of it. And that's when tested with Nick, and they figured I was a fit for Leah.
Now, speaking of Nick, you are Simon.
Yeah.
Love, Simon. Tell me about your first reaction when you realized that this was going to happen.
Well, when I first realized it was going to happen, it was nervousness, it was excitement, it was all the feels, as they say.
Many feels.
So many feels. So many feels. So this, my first interaction with this story was through Greg. He was the one who kind of championed this thing and shepherded it to creation. Him and I met, and I read the script, and then I was introduced to the book and sort of the following of that. One of the things that I kept circling back to when I was trying to decide whether or not to do it was just the potential of this movie. I think it had a really positive message to be putting out into the world, especially now, and it felt like it was just a great moment where we could find. We could kind of have our cake and eat it too, We could be able to make this broad mainstream movie, but that was funny and sweet, but it had a message and it had a genuine heart and it had something to say, which was exciting to me.
Speaking of the potential of the film, Alex, I read that you said this film can literally save lives.
Yeah.
Will you tell me a little bit more why you think that's the case? Because I agree with you, but I want to hear it from you.
Yeah, well, I think that when it comes to us we're lucky. A lot of us are from coastal kind of places that are very liberal, and like LA, New York, Miami. And the thing is that we forget that there are a lot of people out there who don't have that community, who live in small towns, who could possibly be the only gay person they've ever met, and they don't even know what that means for themselves. And that sense of feeling alone. And when you see a movie like this, you realize that you're not alone, that you're not weird or totally out of the norm. You actually are normal and are worthy of happiness and are worthy of love and are worthy of being on this planet. Because a lot of the time, I'm so weird, I'm so out of place, I'm not worthy, I'm alone. And I think that movies like this, especially this movie, and I hope it creates that domino effect, will allow people to see that, one, they're not alone, two, they're worthy of love, and three, that there is someone out there for them, whether it's a community, a friend, an ally, a lover, whatever it looks like. I think that this can save lives.
I agree with you 100%. Keenan, I'm not forgetting about you in the back there. What about for you? You know, I mean, what does it mean for you to be a part of this film? Because it is such an important story.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of a full circle thing for me. I grew up struggling with my own sexuality, and feeling like I didn't really exist in a sense if I was the way that I was, because I couldn't see it on TV and I couldn't see it on film and I couldn't hear it in music. It just wasn't there. It wasn't, one, it wasn't being shown, and also definitely wasn't being celebrated and embraced like we do with this movie. And so I convinced myself that I would never be able to be living my dreams if I was my authentic self. Like, I had to choose. And then here I am living a dream, not just a part of this industry, but a part of a project that every one of us is really proud to be in. And even then, it's just an amazing film. So watching it was the most surreal experience I've ever had. It took me back to, like, I felt like I was still that teenager that was, like, I went back into his body, his mind, but then suddenly I was in that theater watching us on the screen tell this story. And so, yeah, it's just, it taught me a lot about life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
George, what about for you? Did you have some sort of personal connection in your own life that you were really thinking of when you were shooting this film?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Someone super close to me that I love with my whole heart came out to me 3 days before I even got the script.
Oh my goodness.
She was just like, "Hey, just so you know, I'm gay," and I'm like, "Cool, all right." And I'm just getting off of a film in Austin, and the script comes my way, and I read it, and I'm like, and at the same time, I got this offer for this other show, which, it was paying a good amount of money or whatever, but I saw this, and I was like, damn, this is pretty cool. Like, I could, and then I saw the character of Nick Eisner, and, it felt like everything I wanted to be when it came to this subject. Like, I'm straight, and there was a part to be the first straight best friend, which is like to me, like, I took pride in being that guy there, a real supporter of something that's brand new. And, I feel like I'm a lot like Nick in that way, because I love people no matter what. And so tuning into that character was just kind of seamless for me. So I was just very excited to be a part of this.
Almost like a sign that happened to you. Someone comes,
Felt
one of
like
your
destiny.
best friends comes out right before this. I mean, see? Nick, I want to talk to you a little bit. I don't want to reveal too much because I know everyone out there hasn't seen it. I've seen it twice. But there's a certain scene with Jennifer Garner,
Right.
who plays your mother, that is so powerful and so well done. What was that moment like? I think you know which one I'm talking about.
I think so, yeah.
Yes. I think we know a little bit about what happens in the story, but
You're talking about when they're cooking breakfast at the beginning of the movie, right?
that's it, exactly. Yeah, no, we're more toward the end. Obviously we know that your character comes out. That was such a powerful scene. I was like, I wish every kid out there had that experience when they came out to their mom or their dad.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? Because it's a very important one.
Yeah, well, first of all, it goes back to the script, obviously, and Isaac and Elizabeth, the writers, just wrote a really beautiful scene, and I think it was a great template for, how it's kind of the ideal of what you would hope someone would say to you, if you were to come out, or if anyone was just kind of going through something. They're just beautiful words to hear, and it definitely translated, because on our first day of when we actually did the scene for the first time, it seemed like everybody was in tears. It was like, from the grips down to, or I guess from the grips up to the producers, and side to side to the line producers. Everybody was crying, and it was a very emotional day. And I just think it speaks to the power of that message of, you are worthy, you are loved, and you can exhale now. I mean, it's just beautiful. So, I hope that people can sort of get what they need out of that scene. It's definitely a poignant.
I mean, if everyone was crying, it was a success, right?
Apparently, yeah, maybe, yeah.
One of the other things that I love about this movie is that I think it starts a conversation that there isn't just one type of gay. Like, I think we're going to have people that are going to see this in Kansas or Iowa, or anywhere. I think that they think they know what being gay is and what being gay looks like, but this movie shows you that there isn't just one version for anyone. Would you guys want to kind of elaborate, and if you agree on that?
I think that's one of the things that I also loved about the film, is because it's not. And I think that was up to Greg and the writing, and also the way that Nick played the character, not playing into tropes, not playing into a stereotype, playing a person, because at the end of the day, it's you're a person, and no gay person is different, just the way no straight person no gay person is the same as like no straight person is exactly the same. And I think that I'm going to just draw a reference from one of my favorite shows, Queer Eye. It's really, thank you. Okay. All right. Well, if you've watched it, the first episode of the reboot, they say that the first Queer Eye for the Straight Guy was about promoting tolerance, and this new reboot is about promoting acceptance.
Yes.
And I think that the more that we talk about these things, the more we learn about them, the less weird they feel, the less weird it feels to be that. And I think that overall is a message that I would just drive home to people watching this, is that you're a person and this is part of you and it's love.
I just want to throw it out into the world. What about a sequel? I mean,
Leia, that's what we were saying. I think
right?
I've heard that it's
Valenti.
Right? Come on.
Valenti.
I think I loved working with all these people so much. I think we all had the time of our lives, and I think we'd all love to work together again.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Well, thank you guys so much, because I love the film. It's so well done, so many emotions, so many feels. And everyone, make sure you go check out Love, Simon. It hits theaters Friday, March 16th. And thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Face